Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying the first day of knowledge. Still a lot of excitement ahead of us. It's always a, thank you. It's always a hard act to follow after Chris Haas's amazing presentations, but in this case, it works out really well because Chris gave you an overview of ServiceNow Studio, and I'm going to show you app generation in ServiceNow Studio. So let's get into it. As usual, our safe harbor slides for our roadmaps. But heading into it, my name's Chiarng Lin. I cover our app generation capabilities in the App Engine business on Chris's team for inbound product management. Started out my career as a dev, but I've been in the developer tooling and platform space for a while as a product manager now, based out of Seattle. And today I want to share with you some of the very exciting news we have around our analysis for creator product, app generation, coming out this week actually, and show you a demo of what it can do. And then give you a little bit of a teaser on where we're heading in the vision and roadmap as well. So just a little context setting. For analysis for creator, we already have several excellent features out, from code assist to flow generation to flow recommendation. And with our May release coming out this week, we have app generation, playbook generation, and catalog generation, several of which are available for you to play with over at CreatorCon and Future Lab. And later this year, we'll continue following that up with analytics, integration, and RPA bot generation. So really filling out that portfolio of different application files that you can generate, and therefore saving your developers time. At the end of the day, we want to help your developers accelerate their time to value and really scale out to be able to do much more on the platform and spend their time on the things that are of greater value add. So coming out in May with app generation in our GA release, we support 3 types of metadata: tables, rows, and record producers. So the basic foundational building blocks to have a very basic workflow for your end users. Our goal here really is to help developers get started with converting their business processes to a starting point for an application that they could put in front of their end user, or maybe even continue to build on top of, maybe by adding automations like flows or script includes, or even business rules into the application. In our current release, it's going to be running on Azure OpenAI GPT-4, and it's going to help developers cut down time starting an application from days and weeks down to just 5 minutes, as I'm just about to show you. And it's actually very simple. We start from a conversation on your business process so that Now Assist can understand what do you want this application to be able to do. Then we generate the requirements for the application for the developer, before sending that back to generate the application. And then finally, the developer can verify the accuracy and the completeness of what has been generated and make sure that the app will actually work when they put it in front of an end user. So let's jump into it. Just a quick show of hands, how many of you have heard of the EU Artificial Intelligence Act that has been proposed? All right, I see one hand out there, 2 hands. So just a really quick rundown. The proposed legislation asks companies to start registering all AI system use cases. So cases where they are either providing AI systems or using AI systems, but that audit trail is necessary in order to indicate how risky different use cases are. And in today's use case, I imagine that I am a ServiceNow developer who has been asked to build an application that allows my company to stay legally compliant with these new regulations and making sure that we are tracking all the different AI use cases that we have across the entire company. As you can imagine, that sounds like a very daunting task. I have to convert these regulations to a working application. That sounds like a lot of time. But let's see what we can do with app generation. So this is all real live working code. You can try it out in the Future Lab later. I just recorded it earlier today. So as a starting point, we're going to have to let app generation know what we want this application to do. In this case, we're telling it, hey, we want to build an app to meet these EU AI Act regulations. Once it asks me for more details, I'm actually going to just copy and paste the summary of the regulation text. Rather than having to write down the requirements, the epics, the stories myself, I'm going to have Now Assist help me figure all that out. And so, kaboom, there goes the entire summary of the regulation. It all goes in. And now Assist is thinking about it, and it understood what it wanted me to do with the application. So here it's asking me, hey, it looks like you want to capture some information about the AI systems, about their risk levels, and how you want to handle compliance for the different use cases. And I'm thinking, that's terrific. You've captured everything I want to do with the application. How about you help propose some of the details in the application for me, rather than me having to go find it out for it? And it's thinking here, but now you can see it comes back with more details based on the summary that I just shared from the EU AI Act's summary. And after I review it as a developer, I say, that's great. It has more details than I would have provided by myself. And next it's asking me, hey, would you want to record any instance or compliance checks related to each of these AI systems I'm inputting? And I say, sure, that sounds like a great detail. Let's do that as well. And now we've taken that conversation and that summary of the regulations and generated requirements for this application. And just looking through this, we have a name for the app, an overview of what the app is supposed to do. We have some user roles that we proposed, along with key features. And lastly, some basic user interfaces, forms and record producers for end users to actually be able to use this application. And once I've reviewed these requirements, I'm like, hey, that sounds like a great starting point. Let's get generating. And this is where we take the requirements and generate the actual metadata. So here we have 3 tables, 2 user roles, and 3 record producers that we are generating as a starting point for this application that helps my company meet legal compliance for this new act. Once all of this metadata has been generated, you can see here in the new ServiceNow Studio on the app details page, all the metadata that was generated. I'm going to group here by the class or type of metadata here. And we can see here it generated 3 record producers, 3 tables, and 2 rows, just like it said it would earlier, along with all of the related metadata files to support those metadata. And as a developer user, I want to see what the experience my end users will see by coming to Catalog Builder and previewing this particular record producer and catalog item. I can see here that the end user will be able to submit new AI systems along with the evaluation of the risk level. It understands what it means to be either a provider or a user of this AI system, along with several other details I picked up from the summary of the act itself. And if I wanted to make any changes, I can also open up the table itself in Table Builder and make any modifications I want. Here we can see that the LLM itself proposed a couple of choices: critical, high, low, medium, for assessing the risk level of these AI systems that are being recorded. Similarly, we can look at one of the other tables that was generated. We can see here at the top, it's actually referencing the table that we just looked at. So we're able to generate tables with fields that reference other tables that were just generated. And so you can create fairly complex applications as a starting point. And lastly, just looking at the record producer for the second table, we can see that end users have a fairly comprehensive experience for this application. And so if you think about it, previously, as a developer user, I might have had to spend days, maybe even weeks, parsing, grokking through the regulation text, writing my own PRD and requirements, a couple dozen epics and stories, just to create an application that will meet these regulations. Now in 5 minutes, I have a starting point. I can continue editing my application and really start getting real-life testing and usage on it. And this just helps my company move so much faster and me as a developer scale so much better. And so coming into where we are going into the future here, by Xanadu, we're going to take our app generation experience today. This week is going to be in App Engine Studio. But by Xanadu, what you just saw is going to be in ServiceNow Studio. We're going to have a very polished UI experience, make sure that developers understand what's being generated, that they can make changes by seeing visual previews, that's being integrated into all of the other amazing UX components and libraries that other folks from ServiceNow are sharing with you at Knowledge this year. We've also heard from many of our developers, hey, the majority of work that my developers work on already exists. We've already built it. And we want the ability for app generation to also be able to update existing applications, existing metadata, to be able to edit and extend, modify existing things. And that's something that we're hard at work R&Ding on right now in order to support that use case. We recognize that's a very important use case for us to cover. Further down the road into Yokohama, first half of next year, we're going to be looking across all the different types of other text tools that we've been delivering as part of the Now Assist for Creator portfolio and integrating all of that into app generation. That way, you can use app generation not only to generate tables and rows and record producers, but also coming up playbooks, flows, scripts and code, all the other amazing text tools that we have all in one place through this conversational experience. Additionally, we've been hearing a lot of feedback on, hey, how can you guide my developer users to implement using best practices or even company policies to reduce duplication? You don't want to be generating the same table and over and over again. So let's provide them with app recommendations as they are implementing so they implement it the right way, as well as an app copilot. So how can we allow developers to instruct a copilot assistant to help them make changes so they can spend less of their time on the very mundane, simple tasks, or even to do complex, multi-step tasks on behalf of the developer user. So as we look into the future of app generation, as well as where we're heading with Gen AI for developers from ServiceNow, beyond just integrating into other text tools, having all of that show up in ServiceNow Studio as a much more comprehensive Now Assist-powered experience for developers, we're looking beyond that into how do we apply Gen AI to the entire developer journey, across the entire SDLC, across all development and delivery and even usage of these applications. So beyond app and metadata generation and building and improving applications, how do we help developers better validate and deliver their applications once they have generated all this metadata? How do we help developers launch these applications, perhaps by generating release notes for them, or even be able to measure, track, and increase usage on behalf of them? And someday, will we be able to get to the point where we have story and defect generation that feeds straight back into app generation and just does a fully automated loop for you? That's the dream state that we're heading towards. So as Chris mentioned earlier, and if you didn't catch the QR code earlier, here's our chance. We love feedback from our customers, and this is your chance to really help shape where our products are going. So whether it's today, come chat with me right after this, come meet me over at our Feature Lab, or join the Product Lab Insiders group, please give us feedback. We love all the feedback. And just in case you needed a map for where Feature Lab is, we're kind of hidden in the back corner of the CreatorCon team, but you can find several of us, and there'll be a booth a couple steps just down that way, and you can find any of us that are here from the App Engine team over there today. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and very excited to be sharing these exciting features with you.